Even today, I don't remember any other night being as deep and dark as that night. When a man drenched in sweat was running in a dense forest with a pistol in his hand under the black shadow of the sky, because a dreaded man-eating tiger was after his life. To escape from the tiger, he also fired many bullets, but all his targets failed in front of the tiger's agility. That's why he was just trying to run away. After running for a long time, he finally saw an escape route in front of him, an old mansion. He was just about to reach the periphery of the mansion when at the last moment, the tiger grabbed him by the neck and dragged him away from the mansion. As soon as he became the victim of the tiger, he screamed for some time, sobbed, and finally, he died. Before the tiger could enjoy his ambushed prey, a man jumped from the first floor of the mansion and stood in front of the tiger. And it was none other than Johnny, the vampire.
Finally today, both my hunger and thirst will be satisfied. And look today, there is a buffet of dishes.
Saying this, Johnny pounced on the tiger and scratched his throat with his dagger-sharp nails. Often, no animal can live long after being scratched by Johnny. But this tiger, or should I say tigress, was something different. Because, after being scratched, it took the form of an elusive vampire, which people knew by the name of Drusilla.
Bloody hell! You are also a monster! Cool!
Johnny just kept staring at this form of vampirette, but she had no intention of talking to Johnny. Leaving her victim, she pounced on Johnny and started strangling him. Johnny, the vampire, also tried to stop her hands with all his might, and in this struggle, both showered punches and kicks on each other. In the midst of heavy rain, a fierce fight was going on between the two, when Drusilla licked Johnny's blood on his hands and said,
"Today, you will not escape from my hands. Warren, today I will kill you with the same agony as I killed your friend Mills many years ago."
Wait a minute, what name did you say? Warren? I am not Warren, I am Johnny.
You're a liar. Hyatist had told me that a blood vampire will be found only in Midland, who quenches his thirst with blood, like me, and your face resembles that of your friend, who killed my Paul.
Listen to me, I am not Warren, because I was the one who killed him, and the same Warren is also responsible for my condition.
Drusilla also got confused after hearing Johnny's words. However, she decided to listen to Johnny's whole story and followed him to the mansion. Johnny showed her a picture of Mills and Warren lying in the mansion, which was the picture of their training days, and told the whole story of how he came to this mansion 2 years ago to do blogging, and how an accident took away his humanity and happiness from him, and made him a slave of this mansion, and imprisoned him forever. This information given by Johnny added fuel to the fire of Drusilla's anger, and she lost her temper and started throwing things in the mansion, here and there. After some uproar, when Drusilla calmed down, her eyes were moist. She was sad that she could not kill Warren with her own hands. Johnny kept his hand on her shoulders and said,
I can understand your sorrow, but you also have to understand that the more you scratch the old wounds, the more you will be in pain. That's why it is necessary to forget the pain and move forward in life.
Don't touch me. And what do you know? What it is like to live in exile, without love, for a long time?
Before she could say anything more, Johnny's cat, which had grown up now, sat on his lap, and he caressed her, and said,
This is my cat, Casper. Apart from you, only she knows this truth of mine. That day, when I became a vampire, I was about to eat her, but I didn't know when a voice came from inside, and I stopped. Since then, me and Casper are best friends. Isn't it, Casper?
You said you have been in this form for 2 years? But for the last 2 years, the country and the whole world was closed. Then how did you stay alive in the meantime? After all, the diet of vampires like us is quenched with blood.
Regrettably, I too had to do what Lord Warren used to do, waiting for some forgotten person or animal, or going into a long sleep, so that I can get rid of my hunger. But when there is a lot of hunger, I have a great idea for that too.
Johnny was explaining his points, when suddenly someone's murmuring sound was heard from the nearby room. When Johnny ran to the room, he heard a secret message on the walkie-talkie. Johnny started writing something on a piece of paper kept nearby, and as soon as the message was over, he started looking at the time in his watch.
What happened, Johnny? You seem to be in deep thought. And what kind of device is this?
This is called walkie-talkie. With its help I have caught many of my victims. At the moment there is a secret message. On this I mean that a secret message has been received. I will explain.
Sitting with her, Johnny started explaining to Drusilla with the help of a map. In fact, the walkie-talkie that Johnny had, the frequency was often connected to an unknown network that belonged to a Naxalite group living inside this deep forest. It took Johnny a few months, but now he could understand the frequency of Naxalites and their secret messages very well. Johnny started explaining the information written on the paper. Just 6 kilometers away from Warren Mansion is a hill whose cave has a secret base of Naxalites, where smuggled weapons often come with large convoys. Big convoy means feast for Johnny, but the time of this feast was limited only to the morning, because the rays of the sun would bring death to the vampires. On a full moon night, amidst the hoots of owls and other animals, Drusilla and Johnny climbed a Delonyx regia tree and waited for the convoy. Johnny, who was scared to see an earthworm crawling on his hand and holding Drusilla's hand, cried,
Hey, Mom, please. Mom, take it out of my hands.
Even though as a male vampire, scared of a little earthworms.
Drusilla, who realized the Natalia in her after a long time, smilingly threw away the earthworm from Johnny's hand. Johnny also had a long smile on his face, seeing Drusilla smiling. Both were looking at each other with some deep and loving feeling. Both were about to come closer, when suddenly the sound of the truck broke the lovely moment between the two. 2 huge trucks were moving very fast on an unpaved road in the deep darkness of the forest.
This is the convoy of these Naxalites. Often there were 3 trucks, but today there are only 2. Well, there is no need to think too much. We will do what we have been doing before.
You have been doing, and what will you do today?
6 victims in a truck. We'll jump on the rearmost truck and flat its tires. Everyone will come out as soon as the truck stops, and then taking advantage of the darkness of the forest, we will select each one
Johnny had not even finished his talk. Drusilla jumped from the tree on the first rung, and contrary to Johnny's plan, directly threw out the driver of the truck, so that the truck became uncontrollable and collided with the nearby trees. Seeing this, both the trucks stopped, and the Naxalites stood in front of him with their guns and fired bullets at Drusilla.
Why do these girls never listen?
While on one side Johnny had not even moved from the branch of the tree, Drusilla was going on killing every person who fired bullets at him. In the midst of this hail of bullets, a hunter standing on top of the truck threw a net made of strong and modern iron wire, in which electricity was running on Drusilla. As soon as she got trapped in the net, Drusilla got a strong shock, and she started screaming loudly in the efforts to free herself. But in front of this advanced and modern trap, her powers read a bit pale. Meanwhile, an unknown person jumped from the truck and took out a dagger from his waist, scratched Drusilla's shoulder with it, and while licking his blood said,
So the news turned out to be true, that a vampire really lives in this forest. The only thing surprising is that this vampire turned out to be a woman. Well, man, or woman, what about me? All I want is your soul.
Johnny, who was a vampire himself, was shocked to see Drusilla's plight. That a simple-looking man captured a powerful vampire like Drusilla. What do you guys think? Who is this person, and what does he want? Will Johnny come forward to save Drusilla? Know in the next part.